Welcome back to the Proptech channel. This is a platform that showcases founders, leaders, game changers, innovators, and the solution they bring to the real estate industry. This is where you will hear the latest news and trends about Proptech. You heard it first on the Proptech channel. Today's episode is very interesting. NFT in the real estate. The world of property is changing fast, and it is important to stay up to date on all the innovations in the space. The blockchain and cryptocurrency realm is slowly changing the way many markets work, and the property industry is no exception. With these innovations, there will be many new opportunities, even in the real estate. One such opportunity relates to the use of non-fungible tokens or NFTs as a way to sell fractional ownership or debt on a property. Today's special guest has 13 years of experience in the enterprise application industry and is the first Microsoft MVP for business applications in the Philippines. He serves as a business and technology consultant for schools and for other IT companies in Asia Pacific. The chairman, CEO, and CTO of Bayani Chain, brand board member, co-founder, chief futurist of Lekha Creatives Incorporated. He is currently focusing on Web 3.0 and AI projects. Let's welcome to the show, Mr. Paul Soliman.
Yeah, thank you, AJ. Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
I had to shorten it, Paul. It's actually longer. Thank you for being with us today. I'd like to start by asking you, I'm sure that our audience would like to know. Let's have an understanding of NFT. When did it start?
Sure. So non-fungible token is, I think it was there since 2017-ish, right? In a way, the major project called CryptoKitties in the Ethereum blockchain is in a way one of the first project that uses NFT or what we call the ERC-721 as a contract, right? NFT is of course non-fungible token as AJ mentioned a while ago in the introduction. So meaning it's unique. So meaning if I have an NFT, I have that NFT and I can do my own valuation for that particular NFT. And again, as I mentioned, since 2017-ish or even earlier, I think there is already the usage, but not in a way as famous as today.
So when did it become popular, Paul?
Yeah. So I think it's more of like there are specific niche markets, especially like when it was started. Of course, everyone that are building were in a way using or know or knew blockchain already that time. Are I mean on that category or that group, NFT is already a craze, right? I mean they're buying NFTs even they don't know the value or they don't know what it is, but they're the first one who who really go there, meaning this people in the blockchain space, right, and cryptos. So technically in the Philippines, of course, there are some, we call it the OGs, like since before Axie, they're buying NFTs already, like CryptoPunks, Bored Ape Yacht Club, etc. So those are like in a way very notable or famous NFT project that went $1 million in value, right? After the launching or maybe 6 months after the launch, etc. And in 2020, because of pandemic, right? So people are inside their home, doesn't know what to do. They lost their job, etc. Then here comes Axie, right? So Axie is a P2E or play to earn game that in a way pave way for the NFT to be really like what do you call this? In a way usable or famous here in the Philippines because they can play to earn, right?
Why do people invest on NFT, Paul?
As I mentioned, it's really the perceived value, right? I mean, at any in any like physical, even physical things, right? Even fiat, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
people or the government or whoever dictates it, price, right? Now, in the NFT world, I think it's more of on the how the community values a specific, NFT project, or even let's say for example, I have an NFT, then I sold it like for let's say $3 million. So technically, if someone buys it, then it becomes valuable, right? But no one in the world will ever dictate the price of it, right? But if it's inside the marketplace, let's say for in OpenSea, we have what we call the floor price, meaning floor price means the minimum value of a specific NFT. So sometimes they value NFT based on the floor price that they're seeing in the, let's say, OpenSea, the NFT marketplace. But there's no formula for you
Mm-hmm.
to value a specific NFT project.
Thank you for that clarification, Paul. I want to go now to our topic, which is NFT in the real estate. The real estate industry is known for its slow process and lack of innovation. Reason why we have the Proptech, Proptech consortium promoting the importance of technology in the real estate industry. A blockchain has powered its way through many sectors. Swapping the old for the new. And the same is happening in the real estate industry. The question is, could we see NFT as a way to improve the system around the transfer of ownership or even mortgage approval? I'm sure our audience would be very interested to know about that.
Yeah. That's a good question, and it's very, in a way, very timely, right? I love that question. So yeah, blockchain in general can really help, bring the true ownership, right? Of course, using the ERC 721 or the NFT standard or the non-fungible token, meaning again, as I mentioned, creating a unique token, right, or a digital asset will really help us to, in a way, hasten, right, or fast pace the ownership, because at the end of the day, if let's say for example we're in the perfect world, right, I have my title as an NFT. There's no governing body that governs blockchain, but there are validators. So at the end of the day, if you're gonna buy AJ, let's say for example my house, and I have an NFT title or contract, we're the one, it's between of us. It's between the two of
Mm-hmm.
us, right? Because it's peer to peer, right? So meaning you have my, if I trigger the transfer in the NFT contract or the smart contract, so technically I'll just need your, in a way, wallet code or ID, then I can transfer you already my NFT. So that very basic answer, it's very basic, but it's complicated if you will like put, laws, compliances, etc. But on the technology aspect of that, it's gonna be like, maybe 10 minutes to transfer an asset to a different person.
So it is definitely allowed. I mean, like you can use NFT for the transfer of ownership. It gets more interesting. So I'm sure our viewers would like to know the pros and cons of real estate NFTs. Can you
Mm,
share your thoughts on this, Paul?
sure, sure. Excuse me. So yeah, I mean, real estate NFT, in a way, NFT in general. So technically, everything can be tokenized, right? Just for me to like have a context about what I'm gonna say about pros and cons. I need to discuss first that NFT can tokenize everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not only real estate but also your chair, right? Your every physical asset and digital asset you have, even my cell phone number, for example, right? Now, I'm going into real estate. In fact, this is like this is not like a financial advice or something, but I just want to, in a way, show what can NFT do in the industry, right? As we mentioned on the before this question, right? So NFT in real estate, the pros there is really like as we mentioned, fast pacing the transfer, immortalizing the land titles, for example, doing fractionalized NFT because you have a proof. There's no governing body. There's no middleman who will really like in a way get money or percentage from a specific transaction. So it becomes faster, right? I mean, even if you want to transfer your CTC or condominium title, right? You need to pay around 200,000 in our government for us to be able just to transfer, right? So those are like pain points that NFT or tokenizing, right? Tokenizing a specific land title or a property, a physical property or a real estate. So it's gonna be faster, it's gonna be cheaper, and of course you can really own it without anyone telling you that you owns it, because at the end of the day it's in the blockchain and it's immortalized, right?
Mhm.
And I can
Mhm.
transfer that to my kids later on, right? Now, in terms of cons, it's really about legalities and
Mhm.
taxation and how to do this in terms of like really creating a synergy with the government, right? Since NFTs are in a way still new, right? In fact, even the cryptocurrency and not even cryptocurrency, even the digital transactions, we don't know how to tax that yet, right? If I watch Netflix now, I'm subscribing to Netflix. It's not here in the Philippines, but how do government taxes Netflix? Of course, they're not taxing Netflix, right? Because it's not a Philippine company, etc. So same as with using NFT as a as an equivalent for land title, for example. So it's very complicated, right? For the government to be able to regulate that, since at the end of the day they need to really like put law on how to use blockchain, right? To transfer an asset to another my asset to another person. How will I tax it? Because of course, we have real property tax, etc. How do you now incorporate those things in terms of
Mhm.
buying, selling, and transferring ownership of your real estate inside the blockchain? So NFT is just a start, but there's a lot of like contract standards that I think will be developed on the next years for you to be able to say that this specific standard or contract or smart contract is really for real estate, right?
Mhm.
NFT is not the end. We're just saying NFT now because it's in a way easy to understand now, right? To do the unique transferring of asset from another person to another person, sell that, buy that. But at the end of the day, it's still, there are still a lot of proposals in terms of like the EIPs or, the Ethereum improvement proposal in the blockchain that can be a specific contract for a real estate transfer or
Mhm.
buy or sell. So yeah, so it's very complicated. So to recap, the cons there is it's complicated now, it's not regulated, and I think government will not be happy if we're just, transferring our land titles using blockchain as of today.
Okay, I'm glad that you mentioned that. And I like the fact that you said that it's really important to create synergy, with the government. So that leads me to the next question, Paul. What is the state of NFT related laws in the Philippines? Because as you mentioned, there's still a lot that needs to happen in terms of discussion, in terms of regulations. But as of now, what is the state of NFT?
Yeah. So technically, I'm not a lawyer or whatever the government is doing now. I don't have a full insight to that, but you heard about VASP or the virtual asset, in a way, compliances or that you need to in terms of cryptocurrency, right? really do the ICO or internal coin offering or really sell or to have a wallet, blah blah blah. It's because there's no law, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think SEC is doing something about
Mm-hmm.
it, but it's not really specific for NFT. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
considered as virtual asset, right? In a way that it's digitally in a way activated that you have your NFT and that's your virtual asset, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
yet equivalent to like having really a maybe a land title or that is governed by government, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's a lot of gray area in terms of owning an NFT here. How are you gonna be taxed, right? How are you gonna be transferring that asset? How are you gonna be like selling, right? NFT gated or fractionalization. So you can see a lot of NFT startups or Web3 startups here in the Philippines and even in Southeast Asia. But they can do that because there's no regulation yet, right? But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think it's still too early for us to be able to say that okay, if you sell this, it will fall under this rule or law, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no direct law that says that I cannot sell and I cannot
Mm-hmm.
buy, right? And there's no law that is saying that I cannot own as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And technically, there's no law that is saying that, as a, citizen here in the Philippines, that I cannot go to Binance to, to buy an NFT or to load or to buy a crypto, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so that's the state. Still in the gray area, but I think the government is doing something to that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and thanks to people like you who talk a lot about blockchain and NFT and educating people about it. That really helps a lot, Paul. Also, Paul, and for our viewers' information, Paul is the chairman of Bayani Chain, as mentioned earlier, and the co-founder of Likha NFT. And I was doing my research, Paul, and your company's vision is to create the first Filipino NFT marketplace. Can you share with us what you're developing? Tell us about the launch of Likha NFT.io.
Okay, cool. Disclaimer: we're in a way we're not really the first, right? There's a lot of NFT marketplaces already, but
Mm,
the first that can really give value, right?
mm,
And super localized and hyper localized for the Philippines and other Southeast Asian countries. That as like for example, you're a janitor, right? I don't. I mean, you're a nurse. You're someone who is like just an ordinary Filipino that wants to go in and have a digital asset, right? So that is what want to create. The mission of Bayani Chain is to accelerate digital asset adoption and decentralization here in the Philippines and also in Southeast Asia. So that's
mm.
why we thought of like creating a marketplace because that's easy to be understood, right? Like going to Shopee and Lazada. Instead of you buying physical items, if you go to Lika, then buy a digital asset, right?
Just to build on that, Paul, I also like the fact that you guys are starting in the Philippines because, as you mentioned, you're expanding, globally. I saw that, the journey that you guys are going to go through. But let's talk about the Philippine release.
Yes. So I think 2 months ago, we just launched our public beta, right? So meaning you can just go to beta.likanft.io and
Mm-hmm.
there are like artists already that are in a way using our marketplace. We launched our first collection and then I think we're doing one for a real estate NFT, which is
Mm-hmm.
property. And just like last week we did an NFT for a coffee shop. So technically, if you own that NFT, you can that in a way you can have your loyalty card using that NFT. go to their store, show your NFT, scan a QR code, and you can redeem whatever benefit you have for that specific NFT. For real estate, we're still, in a way, developing, and we're gonna launch soon. But everything that we're launching is gonna be available on Enlikha as the
Mm-hmm.
secondary marketplace. So we're encouraging, Filipino brands as well to explore this, and we can help them for them to be able to really, in a way, explore what we're doing in the Web3 space, if I
Mm-hmm.
may use that term. And yeah, and I think, as we mentioned, it's really the digital asset kind of like, revolution that we're doing, meaning, um, as an ordinary brand, how do you capitalize on this emerging technology, right? Because like going to NFT is really in a way um an adaptation to what is coming next, right? So if you really want to preserve your brand or to immortalize it, you can like ask your board or your maybe management committee to explore these things.
It is very exciting, and we're really interested to tokenize the members and in the PropTech community. So thank you for that, Paul. Another question that I have for you. I also read that you guys recently partnered with two Philippine real estate projects. One is a boutique developer specializing in bespoke developments, and the other one is into agri-tech company that brings data science and tech to the world of agriculture. How do you see the future of NFT in real estate in the Philippines? And do you see more real estate developers adapting NFTs?
Yeah. For me, it's more of like it's a question for them, right? I mean, we have the use cases already, and again, as I mentioned, the pros and cons of going through this project and launching your own NFTs, right? For you to be able to prove your thesis or your use case, it's in a way a scientific process that you can share to your management if you really want to go dive in or not. As I mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to promote this in a way that, it's the new thing to invest, blah, 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 because we're not the proper body to, right, to promote it. But in a way,
Mm-hmm.
we can use our NFTs already, or let's say the two projects that we have for the farm and also for the, boutique property, in a way, property developer, in a way they're using NFT for them to be able to, in a way, release their brand and adapt to what is coming next, right? So meaning if I have an NFT of this specific real estate company, I can, enjoy perks like, timeshares,
Mm-hmm.
fraction of the land, etc. Right? So I have the art NFT, but at the same time, I can enjoy the benefits of, having their can enjoy the benefits of having their NFT by our IRL or in real life utility, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can in terms of like, these developers or even big brands that wants to come, it's more of like, how do you like, let's say, put utility to the NFT, right? It's not really okay, this is for real estate, this is for retail, etc. No. So whatever you can imagine, right? Whatever utility you can put to your NFT, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
fractionalization, it's immortalization, or it's an IRL, let's say discounts, or even an equivalent to a land title, it's up to this brands and, let's say, for real
Mm-hmm.
estate developers. But this is like the question: Are you gonna, are you ready to go into the what is coming next, or wait until this, until government figured out already how to go through this specific trend?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're right. I think at the end of the day, it's the decision of the developers, right? But just for your information, it's something that's already there. Now it's up to you to decide whether you want to start now or later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to add on that, as you mentioned, yeah, it's already there. The technology is ready, right? I mean, it's been there. There's a lot of use cases already. You can
Mm-hmm.
real estate NFT in Google and you will see a lot of use cases. It's a matter of like, let's say, is your company ready? And
Mm-hmm.
I don't really encourage everyone to just, go in and, diba, and dive in, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can check like, oh, do I need to have an NFT for my company? Do I need to launch this? What is the value that NFT is gonna give to my brand, right? So those are the questions, right? It's also the same like going to AI, going to investing, let's say a Microsoft Dynamics or even SAP in your company. They are all the same, but at the end of the day, this new technology, as you mentioned, it's there, right? So it's up to you on how you want to capitalize that.
Yeah. And I remember you would always say, do your
Own research.
research,
Yeah.
right? Study and know more about it before you get into it. So I
Yeah.
think that's a very good advice. Yeah. So Paul, can you invite our viewers to visit your website? What's your message to our viewers?
Yeah, sure. So you can visit bayanichain.io and likhanft.io, right? So these are two projects that were Bayani Chain is the mother company that creates this blockchain or dApps, decentralized application for us to be able to accelerate digital asset adoption and decentralization here in the Philippines and also in the Southeast Asia. But the gist of the company that we're making is we want to be able to bridge the gap between this, people that doesn't understand NFTs, crypto, and blockchain, and give them a way for them to be able to easily grasp it, right? By creating technology and applications that has a real world use. So in a way my last message is to really like we're this is like the beginning of human evolution in terms of transitioning, right? So we just in the in my industry in tech, right? We're seeing a lot of um thing, especially in technology that can really change human lives, not only behavior but also your success, your failure, etc., and even robots, right, and AIs, etc. So blockchain is just here for us to preserve and immortalize our in a way asset digitally. And for me, this is the true digital asset because no one controls it. So I can like preserve my digital asset like my name, my phone number, my the information that I want to be really tagged to mine, right? So you have your true digital asset now in terms of utilizing blockchain technology. And I want to encourage startups and especially on the Proptech space to go deep dive on blockchain, not only NFT and crypto, but really the technology behind it.
A very interesting topic. Thank you so much. And I hope you guys enjoy that. Very informative, very educational. If you'd like to know more about Paul, you can find him on LinkedIn, of course, and then visit their website, Bayani Chain and Lekha. We will put the website on the comment below. Paul, thank you so much for your time. I know that you're very busy. I appreciate your invaluable insights. We will follow the journey of Lekha, NFT, and blockchain. And thank you for opening the doors for collaboration and paving the way of taking on economic growth through the digital physical chain. More power to you and your team, Paul. Thank you so much. I'll see you around.
Thanks, AJ. God bless.
God bless. In conclusion, today's episode, our learnings, NFT in the real estate, is an area that requires technological upgrading, and NFT could offer a great starting point for change. Thanks to tech companies like Bayani Chain and Lekha NFT, who are developing technologies that are paving the way towards economic growth. The future of NFT in the real estate is young and promising, It's just a matter of time if you'd like to join now or later on. Either way, NFT is here to stay. Thank you for watching. You heard it first on the Proptech channel. We'd like to thank once again the chairman of Bayani Chain, Mr. Paul Soliman. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again on the next episode.